Could Vitor Roque really be leaving Barcelona already after just 5 months? What does it mean for the teenager's future? And what does it mean for the future of Barcelona's recruitment in South America? We're going to talk about that next here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub. When was the last time Barcelona did anything easy? Everything they touched lately has just been a mess. Not even necessarily bad, just an absolute mess. And the same thing is now happening with Vitor Roque, their wonder kid addition from January, who barely has played and now already wants out of Barcelona. In typical Barcelona fashion, it's a complete disaster. It's a mess. And we're going to talk about what's gone wrong and why. But before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me down below so you can follow the channel. Get down in that comment section. Would you pay what they're asking for Roque right now? Everybody wanted him a few months ago. Get in that comment section. Let me know what you think about that and what Barcelona's been up to. You can also leave some comments on Twitter at PitchsidePub. And of course, check out the website, pitchsidepub.com. So the long and short of it is that Vitor Roque was one of the most highly touted, highly sought after wonder kids in South America. And we're not talking 5 years ago. We're talking 1 year ago, 18 months ago. This has not taken a long time to fall apart here. And Barcelona paid 30 million euros transfer fee to bring him to La Liga, which is money they really do not have. In fact, it was their only significant addition during the January transfer window, as they desperately clung to their La Liga hopes, which ultimately have not gone the way they had hoped, nor has Roque's implementation into the Barcelona roster. He's played 11 games, he started 2 of them, he scored a couple goals. Honestly, not bad for a 19-year-old transitioning to a new level, a new club, a new league, a new country. I mean, we overlook these types of things. We overlook the adjustments on the human side that players have to make. You're leaving your home country for the first time, really. You've never really played anywhere other than in Brazil. You're coming to Barcelona with this huge price tag on your head and the reputation, all this stuff. It's not as simple as just plugging him in and assuming it's going to go well, which may be the first mistake that Barcelona made. But the patience is already running out, and now the reports are that Barcelona would like to loan him out next season, which has pros and cons, but more importantly, Roque doesn't want to do it. And his agent has come out and said that a loan, it could possibly hurt him, and he doesn't want any part of a loan, and if Barcelona's not going to play him, they should sell him, which Barcelona is reportedly, if reports are to be believed, now considering doing. So again, the whole thing is a mess, and you have to look at what has happened. Now, the first thing that has happened is Robert Lewandowski's still at Barcelona, and as long as he's there and they're paying him an exorbitant amount of money that they cannot afford, he's going to play. And obviously, Robert Lewandowski is not the player he once was, but he's still Robert Lewandowski. He can still score. He still deserves to play if he's on the roster, which immediately blocks Roque's ticket to playing time because he is also a striker. And so that is problem number one, although Barcelona is actively trying to solve that and sell Lewandowski off this season. But even with him on the club, having a highly touted 19-year-old as a backup is not a bad situation to be in. In fact, it's the exact situation Barcelona should be in. They have had a tremendous influx of young talent from their academy over the past few years, but I think even they would admit they are far too reliant on them. Their teenagers are playing way too much. It's bad for long-term physical harm, as we've already started to see with some of their young midfielders. They're also inconsistent. As good as they are inconsistent. Young players are naturally inconsistent. So to have 3 and 4 teenagers out on the pitch at any one time creates a problem. They have become too reliant on these players because they can't afford more experienced players, and they refuse to go into a full-scale rebuild, which is where they ought to be and why Roque should be playing more, assuming Lewandowski's not there. But that's what they're working on, and now they are, as they struggle to be able to sell Lewandowski off because he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia and not everybody else is going to take him at the price they want to get back. Now they're worried about having enough playing time for Roque, and thus they're looking into loan options. And a loan option is not a bad idea. In fact, they probably should have put him right in a loan option when he came in January, but they were hoping to get an injection of talent for this current year's club. But a loan option in and of itself is not a bad idea, but Roque doesn't want to do it, and that creates a problem. Roque has had a little bit of a prima donna status to him. It's been sort of a strange indoctrination into European football for him, and he came with the big reputation. And so if he doesn't want to go on a loan, it's not going to work very well. And he's saying, and his agent is saying, no, don't loan me out. If I'm not going to play here, sell me. Which is a problem in and of itself, because if Barcelona's reputation has already taken a hit over the past few years. Since the departure of Messi, everybody knows they don't have any money. Everybody knows they're a financial mess. And so their reputation as one of Europe's elite clubs is really taking a hit, and they're dropping down into that next tier of second fiddles because they simply can't afford to continue to attract the best talent in Europe. But they still can in South America, right? Where Lionel Messi's legacy still looms large and the Barcelona years of old, and you've got kids who grew up watching those incredible clubs. And so Barcelona as a destination is still relevant. Maybe there more so than in Europe at the moment. But if they start to see their star South American players come over and be treated like this, and whether it's fair or not, doesn't really matter. The optics are bad. Signs a big contract, doesn't play that much, and gets sold within 6 months. That is not a good reputation for then going off and getting the next big South American talent. And Barcelona has to be careful about that. If they were to sell Vitor Roque right now, that really would make me question wanting to sign with Barcelona if I'm the next big South American talent. And there's always another one on the horizon. And that will really hurt Barcelona's ability to sign those players. Additionally, in typical Barcelona fashion, they're asking for way too much. It makes you wonder if they even really do want to sell him, which, hey, maybe they don't. Maybe that's the strategy here. But they paid 30 million euros for him within the last year, and now they're asking, if reports are to be believed, they're asking for upwards of about 45 million euros for him. So you're trying to make the argument that his value increased by 50% in 5 months of barely playing for a player who was supposed to be so amazing that you don't want him anymore? This doesn't add up. There's no logical consistency here. If he's worth 45 million, you should be holding on to him because you need $45 million players and you can't afford them. And you've already got one that you got at 30, right? So play the kid and let Lewandowski be his backup if you need to. But they don't seem to be willing to do that. So again, the common denominator here is messiness. It's always messiness with Barcelona these days. Everything they've done for the past couple of years has just been wacky and weird and messy, and not the Messi they loved, messy as in a disaster, and it doesn't go smoothly. Nothing seems to go smoothly for Barcelona anymore, and that is going to hurt them in the long run. And I think selling Vitor Roque will, one, really destroy them if he becomes the star they thought he was going to be when they gave, when they paid $30 million for his services not that long ago, because they need star players and they can't afford them. But also, the only place they're going to get star players from is discounted coming from South America because they're unproven. And treating the biggest star to come out of South America in the past few years this way, whether justified or not, selling him off this quick will hurt their recruitment efforts in the long run, and it will be very difficult to overcome. What are your thoughts? Should Barcelona hold on to Vitor Roque? Should they sell him? Should they loan him out whether he wants it or not? Get in that comment section. Let me know what you think. You can also leave some comments on Twitter at PitchsidePub. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button for me down below. Let me know what you think about the channel. Follow all of our content that we have going on. And, of course, check out the website, pitchsidepub.com. Thanks, as always, for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.